Dante 562. A couple days ago, I read an article about Nonito Donaire, basically saying that all of a sudden he doesn't care who he fights next, and that includes Mr. Rigondeaux'. He said he'll fight Rigo, he'll fight Abner Mares. He said it doesn't matter who he fights. Okay, so it's funny because the first thing I noticed is when I scrolled down on BoxingScene.com to look at the comments, the first comment that I read was someone typing in, "Sure, no, sure, Donaire. We heard that one before." You feel me? So obviously people don't believe him, right? A lot of people have good reason not to believe him. But I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I actually believe Donaire. I believe that he's all of a sudden now willing to fight Mr. Rigondeaux. And the reason why is I think it's obvious because Donaire fell for the bait. Okay? Donaire is not stupid. Donaire, he's seen Rigo's last performance. He's seen him get wobbled twice, and that's all Donaire's seen. He's seen the bait. Donaire seen that big fat juicy worm hanging on the hook, and his eyes got as wide as baseballs. You feel me? He fell for the bait, and Rigo is slowly willing his ass in. You feel me? So I believe Donaire when he said that. I mean, this is unfortunately, this is what it takes sometimes when it comes to fighters that duck. They have to wait until they see a possibility, of beating that person, because before Donaire was looking at Rigo like Superman. Okay? I mean, of course, he ain't going to admit it, but that's what he was looking at him like. Now he's seen Rigo look vulnerable, look like he can be knocked out, and now Donaire is like, you know what? I can beat this guy. I think I got a chance to beat this guy. You know, so that would be an interesting move if Donaire does it, and I would give him major props. Even though Rigo looked flawed in his last fight, Rigo is still a beast, and me personally, I still have him as one of my future top 5 pound for pound best fighters in the world. Now, do I give Donaire a little bit more of a better chance of beating him? I do. I think Donaire now has a chance of beating Rigo. Not a substantial chance, but he does have a chance. He has a great puncher's chance. Punchers like Donaire will always be dangerous throughout the entire fight. Is he as good as a fighter as Rigo? No, he's not. You know, Rigo is a much better technician, much more intelligent. He's better than Donaire almost in every category, except for probably chin. And not to really say that Rigo has a bad chin. I truly just believe that when you've been fighting 300-400 amateur fights and you get rushed into the pro rankings fighting top notch fighters before you can go ahead and build your record up with the typical tomato cans, you just get thrown in face first against serious competition. It takes a while to adjust to getting hit in the head, with no headgear, smaller gloves. So I think Donaire, I think Rigo is still adjusting to that. After about 15 fights, I think that he'll completely be comfortable as a pro. So I'm hoping that this fight, happens in the future. But at the same time, we got to remember, Donaire, he has a very difficult assignment next week when it comes to fighting against Tashiaka. That's going to be a very difficult fight. Honestly, I'm looking at that as almost a toss-up. Okay, so I would not be surprised if Nishiaka pulls it out, but who knows what's going to happen. I gotta say I want to see Donaire win just so I could see him possibly fight against someone like Rigo or the winner of Moreno versus Abner Mares. Okay, those would be tremendous fights for Donaire. He wants to prove that he deserves to be top 5 best in the world. This is the way to do it. Okay, so I'm gonna keep following this story and seeing and I'll hit you guys back when we see what happens next week when Donaire goes against Nishiaka. All right, y'all. I'm on to the next one.